Now, for more on what this means from a climate change perspective, energy expert and co-host of TICKER Climate, Scott Hamilton, joins me now. Scott, great to see you.
Hi, Holly.
Now, what role did climate change have in this decision, do you think?
Look, I actually think that it was really pivotal because we just came off the back of the G7 where Morrison was trying to crab walk towards 2050 net zero emissions and used the words preferably. And these types of weasel words, as I call them, but the National Party really didn't like that. And the news broke about 11 o'clock this morning when Matt Canavan called the spill, and we know that he's been advocating for Australia to build more coal plants. And he's also been tweeting these strange tweets about, does snow mean that climate change is not happening? Which, of course, we still have cold snaps under climate change. So those things, and I think the fact that we're now seeing movements and members such as even Minister Littleproud saying that he's backing away from a net zero by 2050 target too.
So what kind of what kind of effect, I guess, does this have on the Australian government as a whole, do you think, moving forward?
Look, I think it really makes it difficult for the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, because he's really trying to work with the G7 nations, our biggest trading partners, at times when we've been having troubles with China. So he's trying to work with them, and we know that President Biden and all the G7 nations are really committed not only to net zero by 2050, but to halving emissions by 2030. So he's really trying to make nice with them, and here the National Party is pulling him in the other direction. So it's going to make it really difficult, and I think it's going to make for really difficult times in the lead up to COP26 in November this year.
We obviously know that Barnaby Joyce has been involved in a lot of scandals. Is it a responsible move from the government to be putting someone like this in such an important role?
Look, I actually think it's just really strange, Holly, would be my sort of take on it. We do know that there are a number of scandals and that Barnaby was the reason for the bulk ban, and we saw that really strange video on Christmas Eve back in 2019, I think it was. And so there is some strange things going on, and I just think that the rest of the world's going to be shaking its head not knowing what we're doing down under.
Exactly. Also heading our news, big announcements out of South Korea in regards to climate. What do we know?
This is really important. So South Korea is a really important trading nation, and in fact it's a big coal trading nation. And we know that South Korea recently committed to net zero by 2050, so it's one of those countries that's stepping up. But just today, hot off the news, it is also committing to 40% reduction by 2030.
Wow.
So that's a big statement, and remember that this is a country that we export a lot of thermal coal from. So really it is the rest of the world stepping up, and Australia better look out.
Indeed. Also in Australia, New South Wales, big news in regards to electric vehicles as well.
Yeah, look, it's really impressive, some of the announcements we've been getting out of the New South Wales government, a Liberal government, which is really pleasing, and today they've stepped it up again. They've announced a big package to try and promote electric vehicles, which includes waiving the stamp duty for vehicles under a certain amount of money, and even providing a grant. But the other really important part of it is to make sure that they're rolling out the recharging for EVs across the state. I think that Minister Matt Keane said that he wants to make it as easy to charge your electric vehicle as it is to fill up your petrol tank.
It's all about making that process seamless. Scott,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, and we'll see you in about half an hour's time for TICKER Climate.
Yeah, very, very excited about that, Holly. See you then.